Hello everybody, today is a special day and thank you all for coming today to attend this webinar. Question 1, when I know that I'm hired? Question 2, how can I get a position as a teacher? Question 3, what are techniques I know before the interview as a teacher? If you want to know all of that, be with me today because today is a special day for all of us. 5 techniques part 1 and 5 techniques part 2 and 5 techniques part 3, 15 secrets for interview. Okay? Again, coming back to you with a short introduction to the text of today is about top 15 secrets of interview as a teacher. Before I start answering the questions, I have for you 3 points. Point 1 is I have been teaching how to do in the interview as a very perfect teacher for 15 years. Point 2 is that today's session will be a practical lesson. You will listen to the answers of 5 tricky questions for one of the native teachers. So I give you today a native teacher situation in the interview with 5 tricky questions. You will find their answers, you will judge their answers, but I will comment on the answers as a practical lesson for you to learn and get techniques or secrets of interviews. Last point, or point 3 of the introduction today, is that I will show you the model of the perfect model of answers to be in the interview with details of why you answer this one. Be with me and going through the question 1. I will share with you now the answer. I will show you the question, then the answer by one of the native teachers for question 1. Let's see the question. Let's listen to the answer. Now, the question is, what 3 words your administrators, your students, your parents describe you? Again, what 3 words parents use to describe you? Administrators, principal, vice principal, head of department, academic advisor in your schools describe you. And the students, what are the 3 words students using to describe you as a teacher? How could you answer this question? You will listen now to one of the native teachers were in an interview and were asked this question, and then they will answer the question. So listen to the native teacher now answer for this question, please.
Okay, so some ways peers, administrators, and students would describe me as is being positive. I like to have good energy because this is the first thing that students see when they come into a classroom. This is the first thing that they learn before they even learn material. It's the teacher's atmosphere, her attitude, her energy, and this is something that everyone around you will hold on to. So I feel like a lot of people who are around me say I have upbeat, positive energy. I'm always up for the task. Another way people would describe me as is being adaptable. So you can put me in any situation and I'll always adapt because we're not stone, we're human and we're meant to change. So that means we're supposed to be in situations or around people that we're maybe not used to. But this is also a learning experience. And if other people see you doing this, then they can also learn how to be adaptable. And another way that people would describe me as is being positive. I really like to have a positive attitude because I feel like it sets the tone for any environment that you're in. If you come in with a positive attitude, thinking you can do something, then you will do it and you will get it done.
Okay, that's good till now. So now, teacher was in a hurry when they answered this question. So what happened here is the teacher was in a hurry when she answers these questions. I mean, the answers of this question should be in details, in short, but in details. How that the question, as you see the question here, it's about three different people. One is parents, administrators in the school, and students. So you have to concentrate and focus about which adjectives, which description is related to each part, each type, which description is related to parents, which description is related to administrators, which description is related to students. If you concentrate and focus about the practical and also the important, the assigned one, the exact adjective you can use with each part, with each type, your answer will be effective. Here the teacher was talking about in general, people. And as I told you, you have to be specified about this point. And one of the point is, I like it so much. She's talking about fall of energy. That's true, fall of energy. But which one? You need to see you as a fall of energy. Administrators. So you have to mention that with administrator staff in your school. Also, she was talking about confident. That's perfect. But which one of the three people, parents, students, administrator? So which one can see you is a confident person? Administrators, that's right, even students you can say with, but not parents. And also adaptable. I like it so much. Very good answer. Adaptable. The teacher will modify the techniques, strategies of treatment, dealing with the students, with parents, with administrators, according to the situation itself. That's very great one, and I like it so much. But the problem, as I told you, you have to be mentioned. You have to be specified with which one of the parts, which one of the three sections, parents, students, administrator, staff. So which one you like to be with. So I will give you now some techniques to do that in short, because this question is important and one of the main questions repeated in many interviews with teachers. What three words parents, administrators, and students use to describe you? Let's see that now, how to give an effective specified answer. Here is the question, and here is one. Four adjectives, not three. For example, caring, friendly, sparing, informative with students. Yes. So students should describe me in this way. I'm caring of their levels, their problems, challenges inside the classroom and outside too. I'm friendly. I use a friendly way. I'm a friend for them with respect. And inspiring, motivated one. I always motivate students in my classes so they like the life. Informative, many questions I have answered out of the textbook. So I'm very informative for students. They describe me. These are And a lot of adjectives, sure, they can describe you with, but these are the main and effective adjectives students can use to describe you. What else? What about the administrative staff can describe you as informative one in the interviews? Maybe some of the questions will be academic questions for literature as an English teacher, for mathematics teachers, and so on. So you have to be informative in the interviews with your administrative staff too. You have to be enthusiastic. You have to be excited always. You have the power, energy, as she mentioned, full of energy, and also positive. So if we have some weakness points, you can see the full half of the cup. So positive, also supportive. You are not just a teacher in a teaching position. If the administration staff in your schools, head of department and others ask you to do something to help them in a file, ICT skills and so on, so you can help. So you're supportive. Let your administrative staff to tell you or describe you as a supportive one. That's two. What about the parents? Connected. I like it more. Communication with parents, one of the main points you have to focus on. Are you communicating for a long time, short time, daily, weekly, monthly with parents? Connected with parents. Also, parents can describe you as innovative one because they saw at home, for example, the students or their kids work in the notebooks or hands-on activities. So you are innovative for them. They describe you as that one. Even the administrative staff should describe you as innovative teacher. Passionate. Their kids like you very much and they convey, transform, move this feedback to their parents. So you are passionate with parents and kids too. You're helpful. You call the parents to help them to solve the problem of so and so and so about the kids, about the students. So you're very helpful. Now you can answer this question. What three words can parents, administrators, and students describe you or use to describe you with these specific answers? If you like it, don't forget to like my video and subscribe too. Let's go to question 2. Hi again. Okay, guys, this is now question 2. What will you do and what did the native teacher answer in this question? Question 2, let's share with you question 2 first. And you will see now the answers by one of the native teachers. So question 2, as you can see here, question 2 is how well you teach reluctant learners. How well you teach reluctant learners. How well you teach them. How well. What are your techniques, strategies, and so on, the meaning of the question. Let's share with you now the answer by the native teacher. What did she say in this point? Okay, now let's listen to the answer of question 7 or question 2, I'm sorry.
One of the ways I like to deal with reluctant learners, or something a lot of teachers can learn from, is by understanding a student's situation. Sometimes we may not understand the situation or the reason why they're behaving the way they're behaving. And sometimes we just have to give them a little one-on-one time and appreciate their little efforts. So sometimes they may not complete the assignment or they may not pay attention in the lesson, but they will be quiet certain times and they will give a try. And if you ask them, they may say little words. Even if it's not right, appreciating their effort can go a long way. And something as little as just giving them a high five or coming to them and patting their back can go a long way. And I honestly feel like the best way to deal with those who are reluctant is by showing them they don't have to be and creating a safe space for them. And also not getting angry, but rather appreciating them for just being present and being in the class. That can go a long way.
Okay, guys. Now, this is now the answer by a native teacher for the question, how well you teach reluctant learners or students? I like the answer very well, but I think it's still in a bad need of others. I mean, she mentioned effectively grade 3 points. It's about appreciation, a little effort, and also about understanding the situation of why they are reluctant students or learners. And now I will give you a specific answer as I did with most of the teachers. New teachers come into my office to make an interview and they ask me for advice. So I give them this answer. So listen to my answer and watch the circle very well. Okay, guys, you can see here now reluctant or lower students. What can you do? A specific answer in the interviews, you have to put in your mind this circle, okay, and about the points around. And you can practice on paper about this point. So here you have to put in your mind, no one is stupid. Don't say, I have a lower student because he or she is a stupid. No, no one is stupid. Some circumstances around stupidity, but this is, you have to put in your mind as a motto, okay? No one is stupid. What can you do with reluctant students or lower students is, number one is your relationship. What can you do with the relationship? You have to put away a special way for relationship is, for example, shake hands differ from others, waving for that one, a weak, a lower student, a reluctant one, different from others, so he would like or she would like that way. Relationship should be improved by you. Smart techniques. It is not only just a strategy you use with the whole class, no. We have 3 groups, as you know, in the teaching style. We have whole class learning, we have a small group learning, and we have individual learning. You have to put that in your mind. What can you do? What techniques you use? And use the smartest technique with allow or reluctant students. Also, focus on students' strength. Students' strength you have to focus on. Maybe this lower level student has a power of sport, for example. He's a very sport one, so that's good. Use this strength, okay? Also give the lower students a choice. Don't put them in a critical situation always. No, give them a choice. If you ask the higher students critical thinking questions, ask the lower students yes, no questions, short answers questions. Give them a choice. Also, meet them privately. If you have notes, some of the weakness point today's lesson, don't tell them in front of all class. No, I need you in a private meeting, man. So after the class, just meet the student and try to solve the problem with. Also celebrate small wins. Don't minimize. Don't reduce his or her effort when they answer something. Even it's a little answer, it's okay. Celebrate with them. Very good answer. Good job. Well done. Clap for my best friend and so on. Also give them a logic task. Give them a logic task. Not like others means put them in an easy task and that will be easy for them to do. And I like it more. Daily emotion check-in. Daily emotion check-in means, are you okay today? Special for him. At the end, did you do well today? Yes. Did you get my point today? Alone, not in front of the whole class. Yes. If you need any help, okay, just contact me, text me. You know my phone number, and so on. Daily emotion check-in. And also peer guide. Put the lower, reluctant students with a higher one, a very good peer. Okay, so they will learn each other and they will teach each other. Okay, if you do this circle, you can do well with the reluctant students, and in the interviews you will be a specified one. When you answer this question, please put the circle in your mind. Okay.
So one of the ways that we can meet the needs of students of IEP is by creating an individual plan for them. And this plan would involve assessing their strengths and weaknesses and then following out that plan. But it's also really important that while giving the students the individual time and consistency that's needed to work on their strengths and weaknesses, that we don't keep them excluded from the class. So this also involves keeping them engaged with other students at different levels as well.
Hello, guys, again. Now for question three. Question three that was answered by the native teacher was about related to, you can say it's connected to the previous question about reluctant students and learners. So that's why you will find them, some of you would think they are similar to each other, but no, they are different. And I will help you to understand the difference between both. Now, what we got from the answers by the native teachers is she mentioned in question three, individual time. Individual time. We have to give students of special needs individual time to understand the task and so on. And also, she's concentrating on the consistency of individual time work for work. So always. And also about work on their strength. One of the main points, sure, is to work on their strength. It doesn't mean they are special needs, means they don't have blessing from Allah. No, always everyone with a lack of something and with a profit of more than one. So you have to know that. But let's see the question again, and you will see the answers by a specific answer on how to be a very good teacher in the answer of the interview by this question. So let's see the question first. Let's go. Question three is how can you meet the needs of a student of IEP? How can you meet the needs of a student of IEP? IEP is a very good abbreviation always used in the interviews. If you don't know what is it, you have to know first what is it, stands for what, refers for what, and also you have to know the definition and how can you deal with. So let's start with you in details to give you information about IEP, because this is one of the most important questions in the interviews. Let's go to what is an IEP. An IEP, it's a written plan of action. Written plan, written, not orally. Written plan of action, or what we call action plan, but written, prepared for a student who requires modification of the regular school program. So you have a term plan, annual plan, unit one will be in week one, and so on. So you have the syllabus, okay, content, or what we call course breakdown. So you have that course breakdown organized and announced by your HOD, head of department, and others. So what will you do is you will not use the same for all students. Student of IEP, you have to know that you have to modify the written plan. You will write a new action plan for them. And it's a tool. This plan, a new plan, a modified plan will be a tool to help teachers monitor and communicate to students' growth. A plan developed, implemented, and monitored by the school staff. Okay, so this is IEP. What does it mean? It's a program, okay? But students of IEP and the team of students IEP, what can you do? Okay, we have in the circle as a team related to students of IEP, we have student, the assigned students, the IEP student. and we have their parents. So we have to connect with the student of IEP, the parents of that student of IEP. Okay, what else? We have also to make a special education modified plan, action plan, as I told you. And also you have to find in the school a person who can interpret evaluation results. You have to use IT teacher to help you for interpret and analyze his record and so on, or her, the student of IEP progress. You have also the school system representative. One of your school will be representative for the team to talk with the parents and so on. If you do that one in your school is an effective school and done well with IEP students. But still, the question, okay, guiding principles for IEP development. One is child center. Change your techniques from teacher center to child center. Go through the student center. Try to give this student the chance to be a teacher, to guide others, to answer for everything what he wants to say. Just you are a guide, you are a leader, not a teacher. Also share responsibility, parental participation. As I told you, you have to contact parents, share all the tasks that the student of IEP did with the parents. Special service for the one, special education service. This student of IEP has to take a special task, a special worksheet, a special video, a special audio, a special project, a special program, a special treatment, so special needs of education. Okay, what else? About the education outcomes, the curriculum outcomes. For others of higher, you can put outcomes the same, follow the curriculum outcomes. But for a student of IEP, no. You have to put a general outcomes, what we call the minimum outcomes. Planning for adult outcomes, try to plan for that. Includes a positive behavior supports. Try to see what he did or she did well in the class, whatever, is it academic or a social or whatever, and try to support this one. It will be a very good factor to help you inside the class with a student of IEP. If you understand all of that, we will go to the question 4. Question 4, what is your teaching philosophy? This question is great. And you have to know that most teachers, I mean new teachers, come in to make an interview as a teacher in a school, don't know how to answer effectively teaching philosophy. What is your teaching philosophy? In our answers, by the native teacher in our interview, she mentioned in this question different personality for students and teachers. She mentioned very well this point, and that all teachers have different personalities, and I have to treat with. All students have different personality, so I have to deal with. That's good. What we call in academic language differentiation. She mentioned also challenges to be achieved. That's good. You as a teacher, you have to put in your philosophy the challenges by the students and by you, in front of you, in the curriculum, inside the class, out of the classroom, in activities and assessments in every place around the school. So this is the answer by the teacher. But do you think it is enough? As a philosophy, teaching philosophy, is it enough? Let's see, is it enough or not? How to develop your own philosophy. You have to mention that in front of the one who made an interview with you. please mention in your philosophy, teaching philosophy, that you transform from teacher-centered to student-centered. Mention that your philosophy is to change the students to drive themselves, to guide themselves in groups, in peers, and so on. You have to change from provide information to students to co-construction ideas with the students. With the student, build your ideas, not give them the ideas or the information. No. It is not just you can give them information. They can get information from many places, resources, internet. Tons of websites can give them information better than you and specified in details. What you will do is, in your philosophy, say that your teaching technique is to give the students, to guide the students to build their ideas and co-construction ideas. Okay. In your teaching philosophy, you have to mention that you always use practical model, hands-on activities, real life topics. You have to mention that. In your teaching philosophy, from formal, tell them that you change your philosophy from formal assessment to grade-based. Out of 10, you got 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, formal assessment to self-assessment. Each student can make a self-assessment and grade themselves. This is a perfect philosophy. You have to mention that you transform from your way of teaching from a student as a student in front of you to student as colleagues with you. They are now colleagues with you, not students in front of you. You have to go to exciting mood and also engagement. Engagement is one of the process in your teaching philosophy. Okay, so try to differentiate your philosophy, teaching philosophy in the interviews, saying that you change from 21st century skills. This is a specific answer. You will like it more. But if you like it, don't forget to subscribe after like my channel. Okay, let's go to question 5, the last question. Describe your class management structure. Class management structure, describe it. When you heard the answer by a native teacher here, she's done very well in this question. She was talking about higher and lower achiever, rules for higher and lower students. Also, she was talking about basic rules, by the way, repeated with the others and so on. So, is it enough? I don't think so. What is your class management structure? Describe it. What is classroom management? It's a way of organizing the students in the class. Only the students? No, even the resources. The resources, the helpers, assistant teachers, and so on. Everything is inside the class, you have to organize it. This is class management. Don't think that class management is about just the students. No, the students grouping, the resources in the class, the boards, the way you teach them, the rules of the class, the manner to change them from a random weather environment to a safe learning environment. Okay, this is the definition of classroom management, but how to do that? Okay, let's see in front of you now some techniques. You have to create a daily duties routine. Daily routine. Let the student or students to know what will you do in the first 5 minutes and in the last 5 minutes in the activities of each activity before you start. Let them know that daily. This is the routine. Let them know what will you do if someone didn't answer well. If they did well, let them know that in a routine, a daily routine. Don't ignore any negative behavior. If you need a classroom management, don't ignore a negative behavior. You watch, for example, you saw one of the students at the back did something bad. Don't ignore it and try to solve the problem professionally. That will help you. Why? Because if you let that action, that bad action, just to be moved without any action from you, that will help the student himself or themselves to do it again and again, and others will see that to repeat it and mock it again and again. But if you have a decision to end this bad action with a good way, a pedagogic way, a professional way, will not be repeated. Also be aware of all the school resources. What resources you have in the school? Do you have online resources or not? Platform or not? Do you have CDs? Do you have labs? Do you have PCs, iPads? Do you know the resources, the full package of resources in your school or not? Create atmosphere of respect with rules, with all children, with all kids. Always have a backup plan with a social worker, with the administrator staff, with the head of department, with a counselor, and so on. 3 key rules. Use your inside voice. Your inside voice means when you mention your inside voice, when you mention that, you mean that you are calming down a lot in front of them. Don't let the students to make you nervous as possible as you can. Wait your turn. Give them the chance to complete their answers. Don't cut off their answers. Also, raise your hand. Ask others to raise hands. So, ask students to give their other peers a chance to answer, and then raise hands before put rules, classroom rules. Also, when students are engaged and excited about learning, less management problems arise. If you find your students engaged, that means your problems inside the class will be few and little. Create classroom rules as I taught you with your students. Don't put your rules alone. Ask them, if someone raises hands without permission, what will we do? Take the opinions, write that. One of the students leader to write that. So don't put your own rules. No, ask the students about the rules. If they miss one of the rules, try to remind them with that in situations. Don't force your students about the rules, because at the end you will say, you did the rules, you have to follow. It's like a contract between us. So these are the specific answer for most questions. I mean, the 5 questions in the interview done by a native teacher with me. So please, if you like the video, and now we are close to end the video. So please, if you like the video and the 5 questions, 5 techniques of today, in part 1 of today, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the channel, support my channel to help me to give you the details of videos later and later coming for part 2 and part 3. Today was part 1, just 5 tricky questions in the interview without introduction about personal information and so on. I'm talking about in depth of the interview. So thank you again, and I hope you like this video. See you.